welcome back to my channel. In today's video I thought it'd be a really fun video to share with you guys a spring makeup look. These are one of my favourite videos to create and I'm really excited to share with you guys this spring makeup look, so let's get started. As you can see, I have already filled in my eyebrows because they always take me so long to fill in and it would literally take a whole video in one if I was to sit here and film them in. So let's go on to the next step of this spring makeup look, and that is my eyes. For my eyes I'm going to be using one of my favourite eyeshadow palettes at the moment, and this is this eyeshadow palette. It's such a nice eyeshadow palette to use. It's one of the Morphe eyeshadow palettes. Morphe is one of my favourite eyeshadow palette brand to use. I just love their eyeshadow palettes and I thought this one would be a really good one for a spring look because inside the shades are so nice and bright and colourful. For my brush, I'm going to be using some Morphe brushes that I am obsessed with. I love using these brushes. They're really good brushes to blend in the eyeshadow with, and they're just really nice and easy to use. I'm going to be starting off with the orangey colours first and then working my way down to a lot more lighter shades, and then I'm going to smoke it out with a darker shade. All I'm going to do is put in the orange shade all over the top of my eyelid. I'm now going to start using a lighter shade over the orange shade. I am going to be swapping a different brush for this. All I'm going to be doing is tapping on the blue shade and then I'm going to pat it in the middle of my eyes like this. I think this creates such a nice spring look. I'm also going to be adding a little bit of yellow to my eyes just because it gives off that really nice look. I'm now going to take my other brush and add a little bit of a darker shade to create that smoky look. The next thing that I'm going to be doing is the glitter. For my glitter, I think I want to use more of a shimmery light glitter because that is such a spring look and it is also one of my favourite looks to go for. I think I'm going to use this glitter here because it's such a nice shimmery and natural glitter and it's not too much. This is the eyeshadow now finished. I love the way it turned out. I think it looks really nice and bright and that is what I was going for. The next step is going to be my eyeliner. For my eyeliner I'm going to be using the NYX eyeliner. This is one of my favourite eyeliners to use. It's a really good eyeliner and it's really easy to apply onto your eyes. That's why I love this eyeliner so much. I am only going to do a little thin eyeliner because I want it to look nice and natural. This is my eyeliner now finished. The next thing that I'll be doing for this spring makeup look is my eyelashes. For my eyelashes, I'm going to be using the Kiss eyelashes. These are one of my favourite eyelashes to use. I love this eyelash brand because they're really easy to apply on and they just look really nice and natural on your eyes. I'm going for a quite heavy eyelash as these are one of my favourites and I just love the way these look on my eyes. My eyelashes are now on. I also like to blend in my eyelashes with my mascara. The mascara that I'm going to be using is one of my favourite mascaras and that is the mascara by Benefit. It is the Bad Girl Bang Bang mascara. It is such a good mascara to use. I literally don't use any other mascara other than this mascara because I love it that much. I'm only going to be putting a little bit of mascara onto my eyes. I'm also going to add a little bit to the bottom of my eyes. That is my eyes now done. The next step of this spring makeup look is going to be one of my favourite parts and that is my face. For my foundation, I'm going to be using this MAC foundation. This is one of my favourite foundations to use. I love this foundation. It is a really good foundation. It also lasts a really long time on your face and I think it is a really good full coverage. For my brush, I'm going to be using the Real Techniques foundation brush. This is one of my favourite brushes to use as well because it is a really easy brush to apply onto the foundation with and it blends in really well. To make sure all of my foundation is blended in, I also like to use the big Real Techniques foundation brush for this. It's just a really good brush to use if you want to check if anywhere is blended in properly. I'm also going to be adding a tiny little bit of concealer underneath my eyes just to brighten it up a little bit. I'm going to be using this concealer that I found off of Beauty Bay. I don't actually know how to pronounce the name, but this is the concealer that I'm going to be using. To make sure this is all blended in, I am going to be using the same brush that I used for my foundation. I just love concealer because I find that it really brightens up your face, and one of the favourite The next thing that I'm going to be doing is my contour. For my contour, I'm going to be using one of my new favourite contours, and that is the Morphe Contouring and Highlighter palette. For my brush, I'm going to be using the same brush that I always stick with, and that is the Real Techniques angled brush. This brush is such a good brush for contour because, as you can see, it has a slight angle to it, and all I do is put a little bit of contour on, and then I line up to the top of my cheek and then I just blend it in circular motions, and this brush really helps with that because it has a slight angle to it, and I just love this brush. It's a really good brush to use for contour. Real Techniques are literally one of my favourite brushes to use because I just love their brand and their brushes because I find them really easy to use and they're nice and soft and they last you a really long time as well. The next thing that I'm going to be doing is also one of my favourite parts, and that is my bronzer. The bronzer that I'm going to be using is the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. For my brush, I'm just going to be using a random contouring brush that I found off of Beauty Bay. I'm actually so sad because I had a bigger version of this Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, but I actually dropped it, which I was so sad about, but then I got a mini version. But I also love this mini version because it's so cute and it's really handy for when you go traveling as well. I literally am obsessed with this bronzer. I literally love bronzer as well. I always find myself trying to find a new bronzer, but recently I've just been sticking with this bronzer because it is a really good bronzer to use. All I do is literally put the bronzer all over my face, and then I get the big Real Techniques blending brush and literally just make sure I have blended it all into my face properly so it doesn't leave any orangey lines. I have also added blush into my makeup routine. The blush that I'm going to be using is this Body Shop blush. For my brush, I'm going to be using a Studio brush that I got from a Superdrug. I'm using sort of a different blush today because this one has a little bit of a sparkle to it, and I thought this would be a really nice blush to use for this spring makeup look. I normally use this sort of blush for my face, but because I'm going to be using doing a spring makeup look, I thought this one would be a lot prettier to use for this makeup look. Honestly, these are so cute. I love Body Shop makeup. It's one of my favourite to use. I have also seen the Charlotte Tilbury blush though, and I really want to try that blush because I just love Charlotte Tilbury makeup. All I do is literally put a little bit of blush on the top of my cheeks. The next step that I'm going to be doing is my highlighter. I have recently just tried a new highlighter out, and that is this Charlotte Tilbury Glow Stick Wand highlighter. I'm not sure if you've seen on my previous videos about me trying this highlighter, but I did actually try it and I'm obsessed with this highlighter. I literally want to buy every other single colour in this highlighter because it's a really good highlighter to use. I don't think I use my other highlighter as much anymore because I just love this one, and I think the packaging for it is so cool. What I'm going to be doing is literally putting a little bit of highlighter on the top of my cheeks. As you can see, it gives off that really glowy look, and that's what I love about highlighter. I am also going to be putting a tiny little bit in the inner corner of my eyes because then it brightens up my eyes a little bit more. For my brush, I'm going to be using the highlighter brush by MAC, and this is a really good highlighter brush to blend in your highlighter. I'm now going to be using some setting spray to make sure my makeup is all nice and set. I'm going to be using the MAC setting spray. This is a really good setting spray to use. This is the finished spring makeup look. If you enjoyed watching me create this look, please don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe, and I'll see you again in my next video.